Hey everyone, welcome to Thailand.
We've got just 4 days to take on Bangkok. Temples, markets, viral food stops and street food chaos. Can we see it all without losing our minds or our wallets?
Stick around till the end for what we wish we knew before coming. Having landed at Suvarnabhumi airport at 6 am, the airport was thankfully quiet, calm and easy to navigate through arrivals and luggage collection.
When in arrivals, you can either use the in-airport Wi-Fi or pick up a local SIM card. A big tip though, it'll be cheaper to pick up a local SIM when you get into Bangkok from a 7-Eleven.
We took a private transfer to our hotel around 40 minutes from the airport, the Chatuchak Riverside, Bangkok.
Arriving just after 7 am, we had no expectations we'd be able to check in. However, as great as the Chatuchak were, they offered us a room upgrade, allowing us to get straight into our room.
One of the big bonuses to this hotel is that they offer a free shuttle boat service which takes you to the closest pier and also IconSiam.
Heading over here allowed us to grab something to eat and wake up a little bit before heading out for the rest of the day.
With 6 floors of shopping, Suq Siam in the basement has lots of options for food, something for everyone. Walking around, it's clear to see that everywhere is in preparation for Thai New Year, the Songkran Festival.
A 3-day national water fight that we'll cover in another video.
So we are currently at Chatuchak Weekend Market and it is absolutely boiling hot. We got here about 10ish, about 10 am, and it was much quieter and much cooler. But now nearly 1 o'clock and it's an awful lot warmer.
When we say it was quieter at 10 am, this is what it looked like. But we're on the hunt for some custom-made viral passport covers.
We spent about 20 minutes looking and now we found one. There's a few different stalls doing custom souvenirs.
It's really cool being able to pick the cover and the charms and then physically watch them making it right here in front of us. Most stalls include the cover, the charm and the name as part of a standard price, but you can go as crazy as you want, adding as many as you want for an additional fee.
There's plenty of locals and tourists shopping, as this is one of the best places to pick up souvenirs at a great price.
A huge tip, with around 15,000 stalls, if you see something you like at the right price, get it, you won't find it again.
It's actually quite weird how similar to Marrakesh it is, isn't it? You would assume.
Definitely bring a drink with you here, as it's not all undercover and there's no AC, so it's rather warm. On that note, it's also one of the best places to pick up elephant pants, perfect for visiting the temples, something you'll see a lot of here in Thailand.
With Bangkok being way larger than we anticipated, we found ourselves using the BTS and the metro to get around much quicker and easier. Depending on which line you're using, you can tap your bank card on the turnstile to save having to queue up. However, some of the lines don't allow this, so you will need to get a ticket from the kiosk.
Whilst in the hot season of Thailand, you might want to escape the heat by diving into one of the large shopping malls. After a long morning at the market, we're now at Central World, so I can pick up some of their pure cotton pyjamas.
Yet another viral sensation Nikki's found on Instagram.
Morning everyone, we're here on our first full day in Bangkok. We're going to head down and get some breakfast.
Once we've done that, we're heading out onto a walking tour to check out the temples and the historic centre.
The breakfast at the Chatuchak was varied each day and was a great way to start the day. Now on our walking tour, the first stop is going to be at a local flower shop.
So Nikki is learning the art of folding lotus flowers.
Whilst it was a walking tour, we also used tuk-tuks, public buses and boats to get around.
Doing a walking tour in Bangkok is a great way to maximise on the amount you can see in 4 days. We covered the big sites including Wat Arun, the Grand Palace and the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, along with learning some local customs that we otherwise wouldn't have known. Make sure to check out our full guide covering this tour.
Once we finished up our tour, we headed back to the hotel as we got caught in a tropical rainstorm.
All fresh, clean and ready to get back out into the centre of Bangkok.
And as if by magic, the rain clouds have cleared and it's hot again. So now we're off to Khao San Road. First, we've got to get through this shuttle service and work out the main commuter boats.
There are 5 main boat lines. The blue is the tourist line and stops at the main sites. They also have orange, yellow and green flag.
The fifth line doesn't have any flags at all and is the local commuter line. It stops at all piers and is generally a little bit cheaper, but don't expect them to stop and wait for you.
When at a pier, speak to the people in the kiosks and they will be able to help you.
Using the boats is one of the best ways to get around, and you also get some amazing views.
Come. Do you want to sit in?
Take it away.
Support. Nikki. I will try. Nikki. Okay, come.
If you're in the Khao San Road area, be sure to check out Coconut Culture for some fantastic ice cream.
So, Khao San Road is an interesting one. It's about 3 PM and there is nothing going on beyond people trying to jump in front of us and sell us things. I'm rather glad we're not staying here.
Whilst it's famous as the backpacking district, it would appear most of the activity happens in the late afternoon into the evening.
There are plenty of places to shop for souvenirs, albeit they're not as cheap as some of the other areas in Bangkok.
Speaking of souvenirs, on our way back to the hotel from Khao San, we stopped by IconSiam, the largest shopping mall in Bangkok, to do some souvenir shopping.
With its traditional indoor floating market and one of the most famous indoor waterfalls in the world, this shopping mall is definitely one you're going to want to spend some time at when in Bangkok. With high-end international vendors and traditional Thai souvenirs, there's something for everyone, even some elephant pants and some more passport covers.
This is an easily accessible option if you can't get to the weekend market, and we found they had more options available here. Also, if you're a Starbucks fan, be sure to check out their special reserve on the 7th floor of the mall.
So we've just come out of IconSiam, having spent way too long in there, and as it turns out, there's a water show on. Luckily, at certain times of the day, the hotel shuttle boat runs straight back from IconSiam back to the hotel, so no need to stop somewhere first.
Now back to the hotel to relax after an action-packed day exploring the top sites and temples, getting used to the shuttle boats and getting lost in IconSiam. What an amazing view to end a day.
With more than 30,000 steps cracked in near on 40-degree heat, now it's time to get back to the room and recharge for tomorrow, where we're going to check out the Damnoen Saduak floating market and Mekong Railway. Welcome to Bangkok in Blue Hour. So another early start on the 34th floor whilst we head down for breakfast before heading out on our railway and floating market tour.
Having done some research, a lot of people had mixed reviews about the Damnoen Saduak market, but we decided to give it a go and see for ourselves.
Having shopped around, we decided to book with Quality Thai Guide, and at 7 AM our guide Nok was there ready to go to explore the railway market, floating market and some additional extras that she recommended.
The private tour with Nok was fantastic and something we would definitely recommend. We've dropped the details of the tour in the description and we will cover the full tour in a separate video.
Despite the mixed reviews of the market, booking our private tour with Nok and driver guide meant that we arrived at the areas in the best possible time so that it wasn't overly touristy and was the best experience we could have. Our guide Nok was also fantastic, tailoring the tour to show us the best of the local culture above and beyond what we originally believed we would see on the day.
She was also super attentive given the hot temperatures and recommended a number of local food and drinks to try whilst on the tour.
Nice. No, I'm alright.
Having finished our tour with Nok and back in Bangkok, we decided to descend down to Chinatown to have a little walk and check what the vibe was about. Bangkok's Chinatown, otherwise known as Yawara, at least I think, is easily accessible via the MRT and via the Chao Phraya River. Home to temples, plenty of shopping and a lively street food atmosphere, it's definitely a place you're going to want to check out when in Bangkok. Depending on how you handle crowds, you're definitely going to want to check how busy it can be. If you go during the peak hours, it can be very crowded with many street stalls lining the pathways and loads of people in the area, so do just check ahead.
However, don't plan for a Monday as it's a traditional day for vendors to take off and the streets to be clean, so there won't be much going on. If you want to see it at its liveliest, head there in the evening for some sizzling street food when the lights are lit up and the vibe is at its best. Something a bit quirky, the Unicorn Cafe offers a unique experience full of plenty of colour and even the opportunity to rent a unicorn onesie during your visit if you want to.
Not sure about this.
Once cooled down and refreshed, we headed towards the metro to start making our way back towards the hotel. Don't forget to use your bank card to avoid the queues and jump straight on the train.
One of the things that really surprised us is that whilst Bangkok is one of the busiest and most visited cities in the world, it was still relatively easy to get around. Crossing the street, jumping on the MRT, all relatively straightforward with no major hassle.
Having thought about visiting Bangkok for so long, we couldn't have been happier that we did. Booking through a tour company provided a customisable trip without any of the fuss. We will put the full details in the description below.
So it is our final morning here in Bangkok, our 4th day. Needless to say, as you can imagine, we are going to miss life on the 34th floor. It's been absolutely fantastic being here in Bangkok though, just so much to see and do. 4 days has been absolutely perfect. One thing we did do, obviously where we went out to Damnoen Saduak Market, having spent half a day doing that, it probably would have been better if we'd have had an extra half day here in Bangkok. So if you're looking to do just 4 days in Bangkok, that would be more than enough time. But obviously if you want to go out a bit further and everything else, do consider maybe doing a little bit longer, because Bangkok is huge and it takes a bit of time to get across it to everything you might want to see.
So we're now heading off to Lumphini Park to meet some monitor lizards, so we're going to jump on the BTS and hopefully be there relatively soon.
Thankfully, the BTS is relatively easy and stops right at Lumphini Park.
It is definitely nice to escape into the park though. It feels a lot more airy than it does walking through all the busy high-rise buildings, especially when the temperatures are nearly 40 degrees.
Not long after arriving in the park, we came across one of the famous monitor lizards. Not bothered nor interested by people, they are quite happy to do their own thing.
Lumphini Park is a great way to escape the crowds and the madness of central Bangkok, and perfect for anyone that might be feeling a little overwhelmed by it. Make sure to check out our full video in the top right hand corner now.
Desperate for some aircon, the One Bangkok shopping mall has another Starbucks reserve.
And thankfully it's right next to the Lumphini Park. As we only had a couple of hours left before our transfer to fly to Chiang Mai, we headed back to IconSiam to grab some food.
And having seen it online, I had to try one of the famous Dubai chocolate ice creams.
Watching them craft this decadent looking ice cream was quite the process. In actual fact, I think it was better to watch it than to taste it. Cheese and ice cream, the weirdest combination.
Have you tried Dubai chocolate? Let us know in the comments.
Okay, so it's now time for the stuff you want to know. The top tips for taking on Bangkok. One of the first things you're going to want to do when arriving in Bangkok is get yourself connected to the modern world. We'd recommend picking up a Thai SIM card at 7-Eleven as the cheapest place you'll find them. Next up, getting around. Bangkok is huge. When you're in the city, the MRT and BTS are a great and efficient way of getting around. But if you want something a little bit more door to door, check out the Bolt and Grab app for direct transport at a relatively cheap price. We used the Bolt app all over Thailand and found it super reliable.
Next up, we're talking location. We stayed in the super trendy Sukhumvit area at the Chatuchak.
So staying at Riverside Chatuchak, obviously we're a little bit out of the way for the main sites, but I mean it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, how can you not love that? But one thing we've been using an awful lot of is the riverboats, making it super easy to get to the main sites like Wat Arun, like Wat Po, the Grand Palace. It's been great.
If you're visiting for history, we would recommend a local guide to maximise your experience. Talking of temples, make sure to cover your knees and shoulders and remove your shoes before going in.
Don't worry if you've forgotten long pants for the temples. Chatuchak Weekend Market and Chinatown are some of the best places to pick up a pair at a relatively cheap price. Don't worry about feeling out of place in these pants, there'll be plenty of others wearing them.
Another hot packing tip, bring a small umbrella for the tropical rainstorms and to shield from the hot sun.
Alternatively, you can pick one up at the sites for about 100 baht like Nikki did because she didn't think she'd need an umbrella in 40-degree heat. Finally, don't forget to embrace the Bangkok madness. If it gets a bit much though, head over to Lumphini Park for some green, clean air and plenty of monitor lizards. And that's a wrap on our 4-day Bangkok adventure. Temples, tuk-tuks and more markets than we can count.
If you're loving the ride, hit like, smash that subscribe button and let us know your favourite moment in the comments.
But don't go far. Next up, we're hanging out with the elephants in Chiang Mai, visiting the epic Silver Temple, getting soaked at Songkran with the locals, and chasing island vibes down in Phi Phi Don.
You do not want to miss it. See you in the next one.